Welcome to Have You Read Any Good Books? I'm Mavis Applewater, and this is Author Chat. Today I am sitting down with artist, musician, filmmaker, and author J.D. Glass. J.D. is known for being a contributing author for the award-winning anthology The Outsiders. Her books include X, Core, Red Light, and American Goth. She is best known for Punk Like Me. JD has a new book coming out, Firefall, and I am eager to read it. Let's get talking about it. JD Glass. Welcome, JD. It has been a long time.
It's awesome to see you. It's been a while. I
It
think last
is.
time I saw you was GCLS in New Orleans.
No, it was NOLA. I was trying to think of that. It was New Orleans. How fun is that city?
It was a great time. Definitely a great time.
Yeah, and I do an intro, so I've already listed a lot of your accomplishments. I did not know at one time you were the managing editor of The Advocate.
Yeah, yeah. For a little while there, I was a production editor for about a year, and then managing editor for about a year. So it was quite some time.
Can
You
I
know,
move? Make sure we can see your books here. Wait a minute, I gotta move.
every day your job basically every day is to punch Nazis in the face verbally. So it's not a
Yeah,
bad.
so that's good work. It's awesome work. And I knew you were artist, musician,
Yes.
and best known for, of course, Punk Like Me.
Yeah, that's what's really exciting about that is that it's still a popular excuse me.
No worries.
Give me 1 second.
And everyone can see I'm trying to kill JD Glass.
And it's still a popular title. And actually right now at this moment as we're speaking, my wife Chris is working on the illustrations for the graphic novel.
Awesome.
Wait, go ahead, sorry.
I said awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you. We're thrilled about it. So it's going to come out, I believe, next year, uh, just in time for Pride, with a publishing company known called Street Noise Books. So we're super excited about that.
Now, if I'm looking away, it's not, I have notes. So I just remember to ask crap. You know, even though we've known each other forever. Uh, you were a contributing author for The Outsiders, the
Yes,
award-winning anthology. That was an awesome anthology.
thank you.
American Goth, uh, and of course, Love is Hell. What's the devil to do?
Oh, that's the Devil Inside.
Yes.
Well, that was a fun little series. I'm actually readapting that to a larger format, and I'm actually
Oh,
looking to script it and to see what I can
nice.
do with that. Um I've been working in film lately, so I think that's going to be a fun one to adapt.
Yes, you did a rom-com. I did not know that.
Yes.
Her curve.
Yeah, yeah. So many years ago, I read a graphic novel called Grace, and it turns out it was written by my wife.
Oh,
So I had funny how that works, right?
right.
It's funny because we've always been fans of each other's work even before we even knew each other. So it's a very natural marriage in that regard. So I took Grace and I said this would really be great on film. So I put together a team. And I love my team. My team is amazing. And so we did a short, a proof of concept. It's about 5 minutes long. It's been going through the festival circuit. We've been getting laurels, which we're really,
Nice.
yeah. So we are now in pre-production for the feature film. So we're doing some fundraising, and we're cast. We have all that. We have a lot of important things in place. You know, so it's really exciting. And so what makes it awesome? So it's called Her Curve,
Mm-hmm.
um, which was the original title for the graphic novel before it became Grace, and it's based in Chicago, and it features. I love, and I hope you don't mind because I love talking about this because
Oh, go. No, do it. This is
I
all
love
about you.
woohoo! I love this story because it's women over 40. It's
Wow.
so you've got a BIPOC women over 40 love story. And so we're just breaking ground wherever you go. We have a Latina lead, you know, and her love interest is an African American woman. And we are just by our own organic sort of nature, diverse. Which I love. Like I
Yeah.
said, the cast is diverse. The people behind the scenes are diverse. Like the story focuses on our generation, Gen X. Which you don't get to see a lot. So we are female centric, from top to bottom. So let's see, we have Tina Dalia is our lead. Uh
Oh, cool.
yeah, I know, right? Tina Dalia is the lead. We have Dalila
Nice.
Ali Raja is her love interest, which is also, how
Way
lucky do
cool.
you get? And in the short, you get to see we have a special, we feature one of our favorite people, Candace Kane. Um,
Oh, wow.
so yeah, so
Okay.
Candace Kane plays a role in it as well. Gio Espiritu is in it. Deb Detzer. For those who aren't necessarily familiar with Deb Detzer, she did the voiceover mother in the animated series The Owl House. She's also
Okay.
done other video games and stuff. So she's actually, again, really well known. So we love our cast, we love the crew. I love this story, and like I said, we're in pre-production, and you'll be hearing more about it as we go through. It's like I said, the short,
Yes.
like I said, now we're getting, we're all getting all good to do the features. So I'm crazy excited about it. So
Ah, I love when people are excited about things. It's like, yay. And also, sorry, I've been fighting a cold. Um, it's winning. Uh,
I was just about to ask. I hope it doesn't win.
yeah. I'm not Gen X. I'm ahead of you, so things hit me a little harder in my 60s. So it's like, what the heck is this crap?
I was gonna say, but if you're in your 60s, you're still in that little sort of that gray space where there's crossover, you
Yeah,
know.
we didn't actually have a generation for the longest time, and then somewhere along the line, like the years I was born in, we were like that missing generation between Boomer and X, and someone
Yes,
decided we were Boomer. I'm like, okay,
and I've also heard that called Silent X.
Silent X. There we go.
So, I think it depends on your perspective.
Yeah,
You know,
that's not a cool. We were out marching on Washington before any of us could get married.
right.
Ah, good times.
Well, they've resulted, and we've had great results. So,
Yeah,
which I hope that we get to hold on to. You know,
I have to say, Nina is one of my favorite characters, viewers from Punk Like Me, and her whole band, Adam's Rib. I mean, come on, what's
thank you.
not to like? Now, is any of that autobiographical? Because you are a musician.
So, um, my standard answer to that has always been, um, if I say it's autobiographical, then I take away from my skill as a writer. But if
Mm-hmm.
I say it's not, then I take away from a lived experience, and whether it's me or anyone else. So, um, sure, plenty of it is autobiographical. I grew up on Staten Island. I went to that high school. Those people are based on people that I knew. Jim Hanley's universe was a real place. It's now JHU, and when we launch the graphic novel, we're going there. We're going the first night that book
Oh,
comes out.
nice.
We're celebrating where
Hey,
it started the whole thing. You know, so there's a lot of it that is autobiographical. And of course, though a good story, life does not have to make sense. A
no,
story does.
yes,
So
that
um
pesky beginning, middle, and end business. What?
I know. Well, although the past is prologue, so
This is true.
so um as Neil Gaiman says, there is no end, not really, you know. Um, but I think what most good writers do is you take a lived experience and you take that and you run it through what my wife calls the fiction grinder, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and you give, that's how you give your characters, blood, and guts and glory, you make them real because you base it on something, that's true.
That
So
you can say, I know this is true because.
exactly. Like I know what
Oh,
this
she's
feels
there.
like because I felt it.
I felt it. I was there. You know the reason I invited you. Plus, as most people know, I'm going through my list of friends. Let's start a
Awesome.
YouTube channel.
You know what? I'm super duper honored that I'm included on your list of friends. I mean
You
that
are.
so sincerely. I'm crazy, crazy honored because you're one of my favorite people. You know,
Oh,
we live in an extremely crazy world, and you are what I consider a spot of refreshing honesty and authenticity. And I'm big on that in life,
mm,
and I treasure people who are like that. So I'm honored. So thank you.
welcome. I'm so psyched that you go because you were going to get married the last time I saw you. You guys weren't married yet. You were like, "Oh, I'm getting married." I'm like, "Oh, I recommend it." Yeah,
Wow, it's been that long. Yeah, yeah, no, we
yeah.
we
No,
got
it was
married,
Nola.
we've been
Yeah,
married. I love being married. It's the best thing I ever
it's
did.
awesome,
You
isn't
know,
it? I
it,
love
it
it.
really is. It seems, since I've met Chris, I admit this. So people who know me previously, I'm not necessarily known for being sentimental. I'm known for
Mm.
being very loving and very kind, but not sentimental. But Chris has unlocked this whole new level of me that I never knew existed. I'm glad that it's there. I'm really glad to know that I have that in within me. You know, that's my preface to saying it seems that ever since I've met Chris, I have made all my best life decisions.
It
And I
is
have,
amazing. It is amazing when that person steps into your life. You're like, "Wow, I I thought one thing, but wow." You know?
yeah, it really has changed everything, and it's for the better. So even with all the challenges, and there have been challenges, that
Oh,
life creates, all the challenges are always external, right? Even with all of that, I'm still living my very best life every single day. And
I'm so happy to hear that.
thank you. I never expected that. I really didn't.
Oh, no, I hear that as my college friends are like, "Who got married? Are you kidding me?" It's like, yeah, we're going on 33 years. I know it's crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's just mind blowing though. Let's see. New book.
Yes.
New book. Firefall, September 3rd. I've read a little bit about Firefall, about an EMT by day and graphic artist by night. Am I getting that right?
Pretty much. Yeah, she moonlights as a smoke jumper.
Oh,
So
wow. Oh, yeah, that's in there. During fire season.
that's the only way.
So just a big slacker, this gal.
That's what they say Gen X is, right? We're all slackers.
Yeah.
That's why that's why
Jump out
all
of
of us,
a plane.
that's why we all have two or three jobs. So yeah, I'm excited about this book. I actually, it's been sitting a bit waiting for the right home, you know, and that's, and as an author, you need to
Yes.
be in the right space. You need to be working with the right publisher. You need to have the right editor. All these pieces need to come together, and it has to feel right.
Yes.
Um, you have
And I
to
don't
really,
think people know that one publisher or editor might be great for someone else, but if it's not for you, you're going to have that disconnect.
exactly. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with anybody. It's just it's like dating or any other relationship in
Right.
your life, right? And especially when it's a creative relationship, it's so delicate, right? It's so
Right.
fraught with all these different things. So and it's in a very intimate relationship because these people are working with your brain.
Yes.
So it has to be very, very tight. So Firefall, like I said, I found the right home. And I knew that Bywater was going to be the right place. I just knew that in my heart from jump, and it worked out that way. So, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about everything I do. I wouldn't do it if I wasn't excited about it. So,
Well, that's I like that. That if you're not excited about it, it's like it's a pass.
right. Well, you have to bring yourself to everything you do. And if you can't be joyful, what's the point?
Yeah.
If you can't bring your joy, then you're wasting your own life, and you're probably dragging a few people down with you.
Right.
So, yeah, so don't do it. So, Firefall, it's going to be, I think, for people who are fans of my previous work,
Mm-hmm.
especially anybody who's a any of that like punk like me and red light world, so it focuses on Benny Grego, Benedette. Benedette, for those who remember Red Light, is was Tori's friend. They
Oh,
went,
okay. Yeah.
yeah, so they went to EMT school together and all this different stuff. And there is some, there's at one point there seems to be some speculation that she and Tori might get together. They don't, but here it is several years later. So we get to see, and we're focusing on Benny, and we get to see what Benny has done since she's become an EMT. And because of that, we also get this sort of sideline view into into Tori's life from Red Light.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a sequel directly, but you do get to see a little bit of that. And for people who are fans of Nina towards the end, there's a, for those who pay attention, there's a little bit of an Easter egg about Nina and her family in there as well. Because
Oh,
for those who
cool.
read Red Light, Tori is Nina's cousin. So, this is all one big world, you know.
All connecting. And
Yeah, it's
September
Nina's world. We're
3rd,
just playing in it.
that's right.
So,
Bywater books. I think you're like the
yes,
third author I've talked to from. Well, actually, I've got another one coming up. I talked to Virginia Black recently.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, that was a great talk.
Well, Salem's pretty amazing. So I think, I always found Salem to be intelligent and discerning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm just talking on a personal level, and just, so I was really honored, and I mean that so sincerely, that she was like, "Yeah, we want this book," because I Salem's opinion carries a lot of weight with me because she is so intelligent and discerning.
And honest. It's just,
Yeah, exactly. And who could ask for anything? Well, for me, who could ask for anything more? I prefer that sort of a thing. So I just finished recently the editing process for Firefall, and again, so excited about it because it is about, like I said, so we have that continued world. So for those, like I said, for those who've stayed tuned, this is more. But for those who are new, it's an introduction. And
right,
so Benny is a New York City EMT, and she moonlights as a smoke jumper. So a little bit of a background about that. At one point when I was working as an EMT myself, I was asked, because sometimes you get recruited, to
right.
join the elite rescue force, and they're private, they're not necessarily, they get fed fund, but they are private. And so from that kind of grew this idea. Well, and I was also a volunteer and with a squad, and part of that volunteer, I was an officer. And so in being an officer, you get all this crazy level of training. And so this story kind of really grew out of that, about what it would be like, to travel these two worlds of emergency rescue, but still be a creative person, and how do you blend these things? Do you blend these things? Is it possible? And there is, for Benny, she's able to until she's not, because I think that happens for all of us, right? Where if we're doing things that are not discordant but disparate, you
Right.
know, sooner or later a circumstance will come up that's going to shove us into one direction or another,
Or,
and we
mm-hmm.
have to choose. So I say, the way I phrased it was like, she has to choose between the sirens and the superheroes.
Oh, wow. That's well,
You know,
love
so
the artwork. That's the artwork, right? It's behind me. I don't
yes.
know if you can.
And McCann did it.
And
I love it. Oh my God. She asked me what I'd been thinking. And it was funny is that my wife Chris had done a illustrated version a couple of years back. And it's interesting to me because it follows that same sort of style in terms of, placement, et cetera, et cetera. And I love that cover. I love
it's
that cover.
nice. I'm gonna move, get my big shoulders out of the way so people can see your
I could
artwork.
it's lovely, and the only thing that what got changed about it in process was that I was like, we just need, her eyes need to be brown. We do not have enough brown-eyed people in our stuff, you know. So
It's like visiting
um
my in-laws. There's no brown-eyed people there. Wow.
Like, hey, how did that happen? Let's talk about genetics.
Well, you are all very white.
There's degrees of whiteness. You know,
Yes. Yeah, my people are not as white as you. Not no no. Well, it's
yeah.
interesting because I remembered that at one point you were an EMT, and that was
Yes.
going to be one of my questions. You did that for me. I love that. Just save me some work. I'm just going to sit back
Yay.
here, like relax. The joys of working from home.
Why not, right?
Right? Yeah.
Why
Well,
not?
I retired from the day job a while ago, so this is
Oh,
it.
good for you.
Yes, I only
Congratulations.
make drinks now for myself and friends.
That sounds like a good way to spend time. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Um, as I don't think it's news to anybody that I do a lot of different things all the time,
Mm-hmm.
rather consistently. So, I'm the executive producer, obviously, for the short film Her Curve, as well as the executive producer for the feature.
Right.
Um,
And
I
what's the production company on that?
Oh, it's just Her Curve. That's it.
That's
The
it.
name,
Okay.
we don't have a specific production company name for it. Just I believe it's a Her Curve Film Ltd, something like that.
Oh
So
yeah.
at some point remind me and I'll send you a link to, we have a website. I'll send you a link to
Yes. And I
the
want
website.
to remind everyone that links are going to be listed below in the description,
Oh, excellent.
including a link to pre-order Firefall.
Thank you. I'm
Oh,
actually really excited for people to get that one. If people send me a screenshot of their pre-order, I will send them a thing. So I've been doing that. If people are going to pre-order, so I would like to thank them. And so they can email me and their screenshot of the pre-order, and I will send them something cool.
gotta love the readers. Love it. Love
I
it.
do. Speaking of readers, I have to share this with you. So today, I had to go and get a few, like, do a few details,
Right.
um, and and shopping, etc. before doing this today. And I ran into a young woman who I haven't seen in about maybe 10 years. And she was like, JD, it's so good to see you. And she was lovely. So I do know, like I said, I do know her because she is a reader. And she's like, I'm so excited about your new book, And and she was really sweet. It was just like, I got married. I'm like, that's great. Congratulations. She's like, to a man. I'm like, that's okay.
That's okay.
I'm like, that's perfectly fine. I was like, does he treat you well? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I would have said the same thing if you got married to a woman. Does she treat you well? I was like,
Yes.
that's all that matters, you know. She was so relieved. I'm like, no, I'm like, it's totally fine.
It's
Love it.
all under the umbrella there.
Exactly. Love it.
Allies are under the umbrella.
Exactly. And she's like, oh, I love punk like me. And I read all, I was like, she's like, when your books, I can't put them down. So I thanked her. And please don't die. Are you okay?
I'm fine. No,
I'm too far away to help you.
I know. But good news. I don't know if you knew this. 4.5 years ago, I actually quit smoking. I know.
Congratulations. I did too.
Anyone who knows me is shocked by that because I would smoke a lot. No, Heather and I both quit.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
awesome. How'd you do it?
I just didn't smoke. I don't know that sounds easy, but it was really hard.
You know,
It's still hard.
I, um, I quit. I quit.
Yes.
Thank you. It's been, let me see. It's been 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I quit 6 years ago. And what had happened was um, I found out somebody I knew who you would never think could possibly get sick or anything like that had lung cancer. Oh, sorry, had breast cancer. And I quit the next day. I just quit.
Awesome. I mean, awesome, awesome, but it's cancer it just I've lost too many people at this point. It's like,
Same.
yeah, and but it is odd for us because most of the people we've met through the conferences and whatnot is because we were outside
Okay.
smoking.
Well, it's funny. I came to realize when I quit smoking that mostly what I would do is I would take the first drag, kind of hold it in my mouth and blow it out. And the rest of the time I stand there like this, doing this, and taking these deep breaths, and every now and again I'd puff, but I wasn't actually inhaling. So I realized what I was actually doing was I was giving myself a timeout and using
Ah,
the smoking as an excuse to go outside and to get away from a situation so I can breathe. And it's it was really weird to realize that like I'm not actually a smoke.
smoking.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of just occasionally puffing, but mostly what I'm doing is just enjoying the silence, you know?
It's that momentary break that you get. It's Betty Davis used to smoke like that. That's it. She wasn't really inhaling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be actually, it's funny because that might be what inspired me to smoke like that. It might have been watching her in a movie or something like that. Because I remember somebody had said when I was in my very late teens, early 20s, when of course I discovered how to smoke, they mentioned how people smoked, how women smoked in those movies. And I remember
Hmm.
paying attention to it, and I'm like, because it was this elegant thing to it, And so I'm like, oh, I guess that's so I guess I kind of picked that up, and that's why it was more like I said, a puff than an actual smoke. But
It's more a relaxation thing.
exactly. But good on us both for quitting.
Yes.
And on
Yes.
Heather as well.
And Heather as well. Yes. And so we're a smoke-free house, and our great niece Bean has never seen us smoke. Not that we didn't smoke when she was little, but she's not 8 years old and has never seen us with a cigarette.
That's cool.
Yeah, and yeah,
Cool.
that's it. It was about the kid. It had nothing to do with us. It's about the kid.
I get that. I absolutely get that.
I am so excited that you have a new book coming out. And the relationship with Bywater Books is actually another author, Faye Jacobs, is doing one of these too. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
go Bywater. You guys are keeping me busy.
Well, it's funny because I just got my next book by Bywater accepted as well. So
Oh,
I'm
awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Completely different thing. I'm like I said, right now, Firefall is the big deal, because obviously it's the new one coming out. But pretty much this afternoon, I've already done the outline. I start writing, the next novel. So
Wow.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. And depending on how the muse strikes me, I'll probably follow up Firefall with something else because that's the way I work in this one big world, that I
Hmm.
like so much. So, actually, come to think of it, even in the new thing that I'm doing, I'm sure we're going to see characters that we know, from these other stories because I just like that. I like to have that's how the world works, right? Everything
Yeah.
is connected and interweaved. So my stories do the same, I
See
can't
Nina or Tori, somebody walking by, just
exactly, or exactly someone's gonna walk in, and say hi, or maybe have maybe a stronger, like a little bit of a walk-on part.
well, that's a very New York thing too.
Is it?
I think you see people just passing through because being from a big city, Boston myself,
Right.
right, those guys.
But it's funny. I think you're 1,000,000% right. And New York is sort of New York City is, for whatever reason, it's sort of like the home of the impossible dream come true, in the
Right.
sense that these crazy it's like a nexus, right, for like insane coincidence to happen. I remember I was over at a building by FIT because I had to do a thing in an office building there, whatever. And I was going out for a cigarette. And I forgot something. I went back upstairs, went out. As I walk out the door, now you have to remember this is a city that has 8 million people in it from 9 to 5.
Right.
And after 5 o'clock, it goes down to 6 million. There's a lot of people in this city at any given point in time, right? I go downstairs. As I walk out the door, I run into a friend I haven't seen in 3 years, whom I absolutely love and adore. But we haven't seen each other in a few years. I literally run right into her, like bang. I'm like, and she's never in that part of town. She's just, she's just happened to be there that day at that moment. And had I not been delayed because I'd forgotten the thing upstairs, I would have never run into her.
Yeah, it's very like I was back east in Boston, the same, about a year or so ago, and it's just the way that those cities are. It's like, oh, you see someone from your childhood just there.
it's a weird magic, right, about these cities, and I'm not sure what that is, because it's just these random things that should not happen. And it's almost as if the universe is going, hey kid, don't look behind the curtain.
Right?
It's like there's no plan. There's really
Oh.
don't say nothing. There's no plan. This is all random, and New York City kind of makes you, and yeah, you're right. And Boston, New York City, Boston,
Yep.
and Chicago, they kind of really
Chicago. Yep.
they really make you take your sense of nihilism and
Mhm.
randomness and toss it out the window, because when these things happen, they're so precise. you know um they really make you start thinking about, maybe a little more, that you're perhaps a bit more than just a speck on a speck of dust,
Right?
you know
Okay, so we're running a little low on time, but
sorry.
oh no, this is what we're here for. We're talking about Punk Like Me and Pumpkin Zan, Red Light. But September 3rd, Firefall.
Yes,
And then
it's
something not long after that, I'm guessing, since you.
right. So Firefall will be September 3rd.
Mhm.
May of next year will be Punk Like Me, the graphic novel, which is a big deal. And then in next September will be the Queen of Broken Hearts.
Oh, good title. I love that.
So
And Her Curve, the rom-com
Her
film.
Curves rom-com is happening now. And like I said, I'll make sure you have the link for the website for that. And
Yes,
I'm actually
please.
working on a couple of other short films. One's called Mustard. It's about an engagement. Well, it's about a proposal that gets flipped on its script. It's really cute.
Oh, good.
So I'm filming that this summer. And what else am I working on? I'm working on a bunch of different things. I'm actually working on a series of shorts from Punk Like Me, in fact.
Cool.
So and that's actually, I'm in post-production in that right now. I just finished doing the title sequence, and I'm about to wrap up post on episode 6 on that. So uh then I put the whole thing together, and then I share it with everybody, so I'm
Share it with the
excited about
world.
that. It seems that's like my new thing in life, is to take a lot of these things and bring them to the screen. you know
That's awesome.
there's It's fun. It's also crazy. It is a lot of moving parts. Let me put it this way: herding cats is so much easier than trying to give birth to a moving image of a story. I also an executive producer for two different animated shows, and one is called Crimson Valley. I love and whether you're doing animation or live action, it is a lot of moving parts, and I'm in charge of all of them, which is
There.
painful. But it's fun, and I'm making sure that that we've got great representation. That we
Hmm.
are diverse. In terms of our rainbow family.
Yes. So
Both
important.
it really is, and so both in front of and behind the cameras. There's my entire crew is always extremely diverse, and I love that. I love that because it brings greater authenticity to storytelling. So and I look forward to bringing these stories to life and to sharing them with everybody, whether they're on the page or they're on the screen, big screen, small screen, phone screen.
Such a different world than when we started in all this.
Oh
Uh,
my goodness, right.
Please keep telling stories, and thank you again for doing this. I'm gonna and then you need to send me those links so before I
Yes.
post this video, we'll have that for
Awesome.
all our dozens of viewers.
You know what, I God bless the dozens of
Yeah,
viewers.
I love this. Yeah, I
You
love
know
it.
it's the dozens of viewers that keep us going. Thanks for doing this with me. I really appreciate it. I was so honored. I mean that
Oh
so
no,
sincerely.
it's
I was
I
really glad
feel
you
we're
asked.
all in this together, and let's talk about books, right? Let's get it out there.
Yeah, exactly. it's funny because what I do is I kind of scout people's material as well to see
Mhm.
what would be suitable to sort of bring to either series or to screen, So and everything starts with a good book, nothing if
Yes.
you don't have a good writer, you don't have shit, pardon my French, but you really don't. You don't have a good writer, you got nothing, you know.
Right?
I love our stories. Our stories are important, you
They
know.
are, and they're starting to be well banned. You know,
Right.
um,
I just realized I probably should have mentioned that I do have a love story in my story, but sorry.
I
But who
love
wants
a
to
good
love
romance. I also love a good murder. So, that's me. That's how I roll.
story? I figured you're gonna love my theory. Death and Cupid are the same.
That's a good theory. That that would make a lot of sense. A lot
Doesn't
of
it?
it does.
Death
It
and Cupid are the
does.
same.
It does. It
It,
explains so much to me.
right? I believe that they have to be one and the same.
Hmm,
They get because one has no meaning without the other.
it's true. The
So
yin
that,
and yang of it, of love and death.
exactly.
Makes
So that's
sense.
why I came to that conclusion that Cupid and Death are the same person. So I
No,
should
that
probably
doesn't even surprise me, actually, at this point.
right? No, but I about to say once you think about it, you spend 2 seconds thinking about it, and you're like, "Oh, damn!
Oh,
Why did we not figure that one out before?" It's right there in our faces. People are like, "I
yeah.
would die for love." He's like, "I'm here for you.
Yeah, right here. Right here. I
I'm right
got you.
here for you."
Got you covered. One stop
Exactly.
shopping. Okay. Well, keep telling stories, and thank you so much, JD, for joining us. I'm just going to thank you.